Ingrid. I just wanted to add that piece. I think that when we're in work mode, there's always the incentive, the bonus, the maintaining employment, all of these different things. But when we design goals for ourselves, we don't really put a amazing reward at the end of it. And so I think it's almost like you have to strip yourself back a little bit to say, oh, I want to lose weight, but if I continue to buy clothing that are in my size today, well, I'll keep the weight a little longer because I just bought some new clothes. You know what I mean? So there's not an incentive. So it's almost like if you want to lose weight, you have to just set your reward to be a whole new wardrobe, so that, oh, okay, great, I'm not allowed to buy anything for an entire year until I shake this weight. And all of a sudden, when your clothing becomes so boring, you're just like, I need to get this weight off because I need some new clothes. That then becomes incentive to move it forward.
There's an interesting tidbit about population when they enter prison. Their weight drastically increases, and they were trying to understand why that's the case. It's certainly not the culinary cuisine. So how come this is happening? It's because they are wearing loose-fitting clothing. So the body's not even being present to the fact that the clothing is starting to get tight on them. So it's a great, metaphor you're speaking about, but that would be a really powerful reward. I don't like to see women punish themselves by, if they do gain weight and then they're not buying themselves any clothes. No, I'm going to wear this tight outfit to, pay for the price, self-flagellation. I'm not an advocate of that. Go get what you need to get through. You don't want to be dying all day in a meeting. But at the end of the day, if that's really, the one goal you're going to pick, fine. But then reward yourself with that new wardrobe at the end. Don't use it as a punishment. You're going to need a couple of pairs of pants and dresses that fit you in the meantime, that are comfortable and still make you feel sexy and happy and satisfied. But the rewarding is huge, and that's also teaching you a habit as well. When I took this goal on and I really reached it, I actually acknowledged it in a powerful way. That has huge, because you're teaching yourself, wow, I really do stay true to my word to myself.
I just want to add one last thing. Do you find that the difference between men and women? I mean, after interviewing all these different folks, do you find that men are definitely more determined in rewarding themselves once they accomplish their goal, where a woman might say, oh, well, maybe not, maybe I'll get a lesser reward?
I think men are not prone to necessarily reward themselves the way women do, quite the same. But what I definitely see, clear as day, is that men are not nearly as hard on themselves as women are. That the sense of self-reflection with a critical eye, this just doesn't happen for them. It just doesn't happen for them. The sense of, I got it. I'm going to take this on. Is just so much more second nature to them than women. And I really don't think there's anything at all unhealthy about that. But what I think is that women are just so stopped because they think they have to be perfect all the time. They think they have to have already, you know what, maybe I have to read just 3 more books and then I can apply for the position that I really want. It's just always something else to get to where they need to be. And if there's one thing that it's taught me is, and this concept of asking for the business, it's just jump in the pool. Just go for it. Exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Someone says no. They say no. I think men handle that a little bit better as well. They don't take things personally. Women do. I don't think we're ever going to not be able to change that for ourselves, but be willing to, handle it more often. Take it personally. Okay, if you have to, but just know that that's just, not serving you at the very least.
So you have different goals. I would like to read the 7 books sitting on my bookshelf for the year, but I'm so busy accomplishing everything else. But that's a goal. I want to get to the bookshelves. Yeah. But the diet is more important. So So, or, did you say 2 books? Too many goals. Too many goals, right? So is that back to too many goals? Or I don't seem to punish myself over the books weight. I would punish myself over not losing the weight.
Right, right. So
And they're both important to me. So
I really hear that. I think right now you create the habit around first the weight. Right? If that's your most critical, which kind of sounded like you're like, they're both important to me, but this one's a little bit more important to me. So if that's more important to you, then I would spend at least the next month focused on creating support system for yourself around that, whatever that is. Maybe it's specifically to some of these, putting the marker out there, having some friends witness that marker or the stake in the ground. Put the support systems in place around that. Give yourself a chance to get into that. Give yourself a chance for that to become a month or so into this. This is what I'm doing now. I'm on board. I'm not saying don't start the concept of the reading, but I would say give yourself a month to really get headway into creating a new set of habits, new support systems around that habit first. And then I would just pick, after a month, 6 weeks, 1 book. The other thing I would recommend is get to the, so there's a difference between wants and needs. I would also spend a little time around that. That's something that I really think is important. Our wants are unidentified needs. So, is the desire to read the book, is that a want or is that a need? The needs are kind of universal, and those, there's a whole list, they're called universal needs. Needs are things like community, love, sleep. There's just some basic needs. Wants are on top of that. So I would say maybe, and if you email me, I'll send you the list of universal needs for you to take a peek at. It's not Maslow who came up with these, but yes, in the sense of that sense of depth and meaning. Marshall Rosenberg, he created something called nonviolent communication, and he speaks to us all being driven by need. And when you get those needs identified, you have a much better chance at getting them met. We rarely are in tune to our needs. We're really in tune to our wants. But our wants, even when we get them, they don't satisfy the needs. So I use the example of, someone gets in a new office and everybody has a certain kind of, car, in suburbia, it's like all the cars out in the parking lot, that new position, that person may be like, I really got to get that car because, I got to be one of the vice presidents. They all have this car, whatever this car is. But if that vice president started to get included, to events at the club down the street and got invited to lunch or dinner, like all of a sudden that want for that car would probably start to dissipate because the need for community, that need for being included is met. So make sure that like whatever these goals are that you are setting, especially the ones that are personal, are ones that are going to meet really what the needs are. For example, books. I understand that may not be yours, but like if that is somebody's goal, then I would say, well, what's the need underneath that? Maybe it's for intellectual stimulation, and that's maybe something that person can achieve by belonging to a different kind of group or associate with other people. Maybe it's not so much that that person has to read. Maybe they just want some kind of creative stimulation,
One thing that inspired me last year was a story of the multi-billion-dollar woman. Her name escapes me right now, who created Spanx.
Sarah Blakely.
All right. So every night on the table, the dad would ask, so what did you fail at today? What did you fail at today? So a big reason why we don't do things is because we're afraid of failing. We don't want to be a loser. Some of the most successful people in this world have failed numerous times. And there's something inside of you that can make you get up. That something is you. You can make you get up. How badly do you want to change? And then there's the idea of community. Some of the communities in this world that live the longest are communities where people share. You're not living alone. You're communicating with someone else. You're part of an organization. you're interrelating with people at work, you've got friends, and you're making an affirmation. I made a statement tonight about what I want to do. Kim, you made a statement tonight about what you want to do. People are going to look at that. People are going to watch you to see, are you doing that? So tell people what you want to do. You've got friends. Everybody here has one friend. And that one friend is me. If you have no one else, you have me. So call on me, engage with me. Tell me what your resolution is. Tell me why you don't want to make one. I want to help you make a difference. I want to make a difference. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. Kim, I'd love to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It was really wonderful.